For today's blog entry, I'm going to be reading a poem from Tate's 2004 collection, Return to the City of White Donkeys. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's called The Visiting Scholar. A lot of people had reported seeing the fox downtown. One lady swore it trotted right past her on the sidewalk with a green tennis ball in its mouth. The detail of the tennis ball seemed to really annoy her. Someone else saw it napping beside the flagpole outside the courthouse. Cars screeched to a halt to let it cross the street. It was seen standing in the doorways of restaurants. A lady claimed it stood up and peeked into her baby carriage, and the baby tried to touch it. Reports of its size and exact color varied a great deal, but everyone agreed that there was a fox among us. The newspaper offered a prize of $500 for the best photo of him, so I started hanging around town with my camera on the ready. I noticed a lot of people were carrying their cameras and looking up and down the streets nervously. I saw the fox walk right through a whole crowd of these people, and no one even noticed. I was so fascinated by this, I forgot to take a picture. "Have you seen the fox today?" one of them asked me. "What fox?" I said. It seemed as though the more public he went, the more he blended in. I saw him once wearing a pink feather boa, of which he seemed inordinately proud. And another time he was carrying a takeout carton of Chinese food in his mouth. The paper never did run a photo of him, and people stopped carrying their cameras. I never went to town without seeing him. Why me? I don't know, except that I thought about little else. I saw him once, in a straw hat and sunglasses, sitting right outside the entrance to the bank. Customers came and went, some nodding at one another, and even one nodding at him. The fox nodded back in a gentlemanly way. And then, one day, I too stopped seeing him. I knew he was still there. I sensed him everywhere, but he was no longer visible. He had so thoroughly infiltrated our ranks. More than once, when I found myself talking to a stranger, I found myself studying their eyes, amused at my own flights of imagination. And when they speak, I check their teeth. Then one day, long after I had given up hope of ever seeing him again, I spotted the fox in the alley beside the ice cream shop. I was with my friend Mitzi, and I pointed to him and told her to look. He was mangy and thin, looked as if he was nearly starved to death. "It's a huge rat," she said. "No, it's the fox. Don't you remember him?" I said. "It's dangerous. It could kill us," she said. "It's sick," I said. "It's dying." The fox was crouching and making a barely audible guttural sound. I started walking toward it. "Don't kneel. It will bite you," Mitzi said. I held my hand toward it. "Kneel," Mitzi shouted again. "It's a giant rat, and you will catch the plague." I put my hand on its head. Before my own eyes it began to shrink, and then it disappeared until I held only a few red hairs in my hand. "What was that?" Mitzi said. "I guess he went home," I said. "Is that far from here?" she said. "No," I said. "I think he lives in that apartment above the funeral home. I think he's writing a book."